All right, guys, welcome again to Women of Dance, episode number 4. Our guest today is the beautiful Jennifer Aucoin. I'm going to talk to you guys for a little bit while we try to bring Jen on camera. As I said in the earlier video, this is live, so sometimes things happen, but we will get going as soon as she comes in here. So again, just wanted to talk to you guys real quick before we get started and tell you about my weekend. It was fabulous. I got to teach and perform and social dance for the first time in a very long time. It was fantastic. I had the best time, and we got to perform our cha-cha piece at our social on Saturday, which was great. I got to beat up on Darlin, so it was a lot of fun. Cha-cha, life, yay. Jen, I just sent you the invite now that you're here, so you should be able to see it. So let's see what happens. This is what we'll be watching again. For those that don't know or have never seen the show, I go back and forth. You will always see Jen when she's on camera. For me, sometimes you'll see me, sometimes not. You'll see the videos. Again, there's no sound on the videos, so do not think you're missing something. You're just going to be watching her, but you will be listening to us. For me, it's more important that you hear what Jennifer has to say than to hear the music and the videos that are behind. Let's see what's going on here. I see Issa, but I do not see how to bring you on, Jen. I did just send you the invite, so hopefully you will get that now. Let's see what happens. When I see once you get the invite, you'll pop up in my corner and there will be a little green notification that you're ready to come on camera. For some reason, it says I can bring Issa on camera. There's nothing to click. How is that possible? I did send it on here. That's just it. I did send the notification through here, so I don't know why. Let me see what happens real quick if I try this. I waved at Issa. Can you send me a wave, Jen? Out of curiosity. I'm wondering if it's, yes, in the chat. Send a wave, like there's an option that says wave to say you're here. And when I clicked on that for Issa, for example, it gave me the option if I wanted to bring her on the camera. So you should see that in the chat. But yeah, so while that gets figured out, so yeah, this weekend, social on Saturday, performance, haven't done that in forever. It was so great. I got to be in costume. Haven't done that. I haven't worn a costume in so long. So that was fabulous. And of course, Sunday I got to go down to Delaware and teach technique for hours. And it was heaven. Okay, let's see what's going on. Okay, yeah, sign off, Jen, and come back on your phone and let's see if that works. It might be the camera on your laptop that's giving it a problem. So while we wait for that, as I just said, I got to teach this weekend and perform, and it was great. I'm curious for those of you that are watching, when was the last time that you performed? When was the last time you got to teach? When was the last time you social danced? What do you miss about all of these things? Let me know. Let's have a conversation going while we wait for Jen to come on. I know I'm not the only person that feels this way. A lot of us have been missing dance big time. A lot of us have been feeling not like ourselves. You know, when you do something that is such a huge part of your life, to not be able to do it feels almost like it's just heartbreaking. All right, Jen, I see you're watching, but it's not giving me the camera option. Is your camera not turned on? I'm wondering if that is the issue because you do not have a camera setting on here. Oh, here we go. Bringing you on. Oh, this is exciting. Where did you go? I just accepted your invitation. No. How did I accepted your invite? It says invited, but you disappeared. All right. Jen, exit out of the video and come back on. So leave the thing, close your Facebook completely, come back onto Facebook, open the thing and wave and just be patient because you'll see, you should get the notification to come back onto camera. I see you on here and I see your icon, but it doesn't allow a camera. So if you can exit and come back, that should work. Again, on your phone. And in the meantime, like I said, for those of you that are watching, we have some people here in the room. Talk to me. Let me know what you're thinking. What do you miss the most about your dance life while we've been dealing with COVID? You know, is it being in class with other dancers? Is it going to the socials? Do you miss performing? What have you been going through during this whole period? I know for me, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of missing everything. You performed in October, Issa. Yeah, that was great. It was so much fun. She's here. Hi, gorgeous.
I can't. Hi. I'm so sorry. I don't know. I tried on my laptop. It didn't work. Now I'm going to try and figure out how to position my phone.
No worries. You look fabulous. I love seeing your face. I miss you so much.
Hi. Hi.
So
Sorry
everybody,
about that.
no problem. For everyone that's tuning in, this is the fabulous Jennifer Aucoin. For those of you that do not know this wonderful woman, she is a dancer, instructor, studio owner, Congress organizer, judge. I mean, is there anything you don't do?
I don't ski.
You don't ski. Okay. There's her one thing she doesn't do, ladies and gentlemen, but she does everything else. So Jen, first of all, thank you so much for coming on and giving of your time. I know not a lot of people like doing these interview things, so I really appreciate you coming on and chatting with me for an hour and letting people get to know you.
Thanks for having me, Sharonne. It's so nice to see you, to see like a real human, a real dancer.
I know it's been so long. So before we get into all the current stuff, let's give everybody a little background on you. So why don't you tell everyone who's watching where and how your dance life began?
Oh, wow. I was originally a gymnast. So I started gymnastics when I was 4 years old. I did gymnastics for many years. I did gymnastics competitively. And then I coached for probably 10 or 12 years.
Wow.
I used to judge gymnastics competitions, and choreograph gymnastics routines. So I did all that. And then I also did ballet. I did ballet from the age of 10 until my mid-20s.
Okay.
And so my whole life was kind of dance, gymnastics. I taught, I coached, I taught aerobics, and then I found salsa.
And your life has never been the same.
Never been the same. So, yeah.
Let's go back to the gymnastics thing, because you're not the first person I've had on the show talk to me about being a gymnast or having a background in that. Did you have something that you specialized in? Was the beam or the
floor?
Like, what was your favorite thing?
The floor.
The floor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any chance we can get you to do that again?
What was that?
Any chance we could get you to do that again?
I actually did a gymnastics class last Saturday. I'm actually I'm in Mexico. I've been staying in Mexico for the past few months during the second lockdown. And I was in Puebla actually with some other salsa dancers, with Maritza, Ernesto, with Patricio, a group of salsa dancers. And we went to I went to 2 gymnastics classes. First time in like 30 years, I did a gymnastics class. And it was amazing how much comes back. Muscle memory is phenomenal. Like I was doing round off back handsprings.
Is there video of this?
I have a video of me doing back handsprings. I'm not sure if, I think the teacher took one of me doing a round off back handspring. I have to ask them to send it to me. But yeah, it was crazy. It was like, oh my God, your body actually remembers how to do these crazy things.
It's amazing what muscle memory really is.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's
Amazing.
amazing. Something, one of my friends sent me the other day, like a little video clip from I have a group of friends from ballet that we grew up with. And like they sent on Insta some like little clip of something. And immediately I started dancing the whole ballet in my head. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
haven't watched this since I was 10. What am I doing?
I know, but or I have this weird. I talked a couple of days ago with a friend about weird skills people have that are like not useful. If I hear a song that I've seen a salsa routine to, I know that I've seen a routine to that song. And I
Yep.
can usually remember, the choreographer or the team or not necessarily the choreography because I didn't learn the choreography, but I know, oh yeah, this song was used by this team. And it could have been something that was done 10 years ago.
But little something about it will still stay
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So talk to me, the transition when you did gymnastics and you went to ballet, was that overlap or did you stop one
It was
and do the other?
overlap.
Overlap?
There was overlap. I was still doing gymnastics and I started doing ballet because my brother had taken me to see the Nutcracker.
Mm.
And I was like, whoa, wow, I want to do ballet. So I remember researching and finding a school near my house. And I told my parents, okay, I want to take ballet. So I went and I looked at the studio. I went on my own.
Oh, wow.
I was like maybe 10 or 11, 11 maybe, 10. And I remember like at the time it was like you looked in the yellow pages and I found a
Oh
dance
my
studio
gosh.
that was near my house. And I went on a Saturday and I basically introduced myself and said I want to take ballet classes. So I started doing ballet. And so there was an overlap for a few years of gymnastics and ballet. And then I stopped gymnastics and continued ballet. And then
Okay.
there was an overlap of salsa and ballet as well.
Did you find that the gymnastics, did it help you at all with the ballet or
Mm.
was it more that the ballet was helpful for the gymnastics?
Um, I think anything you do that is physically active, especially in dance and movement, helps with something else. So I think gymnastics, it gives you, I think it's really great for children. It gives you a really good body awareness.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what your body is capable of. It teaches you how to conquer fears. My coaches were, pretty intense. Like you fell down, you fell on the beam, you get it back up, you do it again. There's no waiting.
Mm-hmm.
There's no time to let the fear set in. So they're always making you redo things. And actually, I remembered did I lose you?
I think we're still there. I think there was a temporary something. The weather's kind of bad here, so I think internet might be a
Okay.
little, but you're good now. I can
Okay.
hear you perfectly and see you, so you're good.
Okay. No, I just remembered that in gymnastics, the coaches were pretty tough on you. So you could do something almost perfectly and you would get it's okay. It's not
Yep.
bad. And then it just kind of pushed you to keep going. So I think that mentality helped in ballet as well.
I'm curious, were your coaches in gymnastics Russian?
Um, I actually don't remember. I don't think so. I don't think so, actually. I mean, I know a lot were, but I don't think mine were specifically.
From my understanding from the people I've talked to in the gymnastics world, a lot of the coaches tend to be Eastern European,
Hmm. Hmm.
kind of like with figure skating.
Yeah.
You see a
Yeah.
lot of that also with those things. And then, of course, ballet. There's just a lot of us Russians. Do you remember the type of style of ballet you were learning?
It was
Or was it
Royal. It was RDA. It was Royal Dance
already
Academy. Yeah.
nice? Nice.
Hmm.
Very, very nice. I actually love Royal Ballet. So
Yeah. Did you do ballet as well? You did.
I did. I did. My ballet dance life started at 2. And I did that until I
Wow.
was 22.
Wow.
So I had a whole other dance life way
Yeah.
before salsa ever came into play. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you.
We could
So,
talk about both.
so let's talk about coming into salsa. How did you end up in the salsa scene?
I went on vacation to the Dominican Republic
Mm.
and you step off the plane and there's people playing bachata, merengue music. There's people playing instruments. You go for dinner, there's people playing music. You go on the beach, there's people playing music. Everywhere you went was music and dance. And I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with the music, the culture. Um, I remember meeting a family from Venezuela while I was there. And they Hi, Ashley. I met this family from Venezuela, and I remember the daughter tried to teach me salsa, and I had no idea what she was doing. I learned merengue that trip, and it was pretty easy for me to learn. But I remember this girl trying to teach me salsa, and I was like, I don't know what you're doing. And somebody in the Dominican told me about a nightclub in Toronto and said, this exists in Toronto. You can dance in Toronto. And I didn't believe him. And he had heard about it from all the other tourists. And so when I got back to Toronto, I said to one of my friends, I said, we're going to go to this salsa club. And she's like, I don't believe you that there's salsa here in Toronto. So we went for dinner. It was a place, it still exists. Well, I'm not sure if it's obviously not open now because of COVID, but it's called El Rancho. And we went for dinner, and we asked the waitress, we said, hey, is there like salsa later on tonight? And she said, yeah. She's like, come back at like 11. So we came back and we walked in, and it was like, whoa, like the gates, it was just this crazy, crazy different environment that I had never experienced in Toronto before.
And that was it, right? You were hooked.
That was it. I was hooked.
Did you start taking classes at a studio after that? Or like once you got the bug, what was your next step?
At that point, I don't think there were dance studios teaching salsa at that point. So there was just nightclub classes.
Okay.
So, oh boy. What are you showing, Sharonne? This is what I was worried about. I saw your interview with Anya, and I'm like,
this is you social dancing with a whole bunch of guys, from my understanding, back in 2006.
This is at my Congress. Is that 2006? Wow. That's a long time ago.
Congress 2006.
Wow. That was my Congress. And for some reason on a Sunday night, I don't know why, they decided to do it wasn't my birthday, but they decided to do, oh, Dickie. They decided to do like a birthday dance, not a birthday dance, but like a dance with me. So all the guys came into the ballroom, and I danced with I don't know, 20 people. It's like in 7 minutes. It was crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of spins that they put me through. And that was that was like Sunday night after the Congress. So, 4 days, well, probably a week of no sleep, hardly eating. It was really hard to. Yeah,
but you're living your best life on that dance floor, girl. Look at you.
Oh, that was a great dance. Yeah, that was awesome. So much fun.
So there were no classes going on, really?
There were no classes. I took nightclub classes. I went to a nightclub called Berlin, and I took classes there. And I met a lot of friends there. I met people that I still know today there in those dance classes. And I think at the time, like the classes, it was cumbia style. It wasn't in linea. It was side to side.
Yes.
And oh my God, I'm getting dizzy.
I had to say it. I'm sorry.
I'm getting dizzy just watching it. So I think it was 2 rounds. You took 8 weeks and then 8 weeks. It was like 8 weeks beginner, 8 weeks intermediate, and then you were kind of done. So I did that. And then I just kept dancing. And then eventually I started assisting that dance teacher to teach the classes.
Okay. So what came first, Steps or Canada Salsa Congress?
Steps.
All right. Let's talk about Steps then. That's what I assumed, but I just wanted to make sure. If you could see my, I always make a note. So I had that listed next. I was almost positive that
actually first came Los Alsomonos.
Oh.
So I actually started Los Alsomonos with Giovanni Torres. So we had gone in, I danced for many years, and I was teaching almost full time by then. I had given up a corporate job, and I started teaching salsa, and I was teaching pretty much full time. And we went to a Congress in Washington, D.C. in 1999.
Okay.
And that's when I met, Eddie Torres, Maria Torres, Nelson Flores, Dave Melendez, Joby, the Salsa Brava, the Vasquez brothers, Ismael Otero, so many people that I met, Freddie Rios, Mike Ramos, like so many amazing dancers that I met that weekend. And we went, so that year, 1999, we went to Washington in April. We went to New York in May to a Salsa Congress. We went to LA in May to the Salsa Congress there. And then we went to Puerto Rico in July.
That's a busy couple of months.
It was a busy couple of months, and we were just addicted to going to these salsa congresses. So in Puerto Rico, we went for lunch one day with a friend of ours, and we decided to start a dance company and start a performance team. So we started Los Alzómonos when we got back that year. So I taught with Giovanni, and we had the first dance team together, and then we kind of went our own ways, and then I started Steps.
Did you and Giovanni ever compete together or anything, or was it just?
I think we did. We did compete at one nightclub. I mean, at the time, there was really no competition. There was no Congress worldwide competitions. That didn't exist. There was just shows. I mean, the first few congresses I went to, the shows were on the floor. You sat on the floor to watch the shows at night. There was no chairs.
Wow.
It was different, you know? So there was no competitions at congresses at that point. They were just shows and workshops and parties. And
Okay.
so, but I think we did compete at a nightclub in Toronto, and we were performing. We performed together, him and I, and we also had a dance team that performed around the city and at different festivals and stuff.
Okay. So then from there, you decided to open
Steps.
after that Steps. Okay. So
Yeah.
tell me about that, how that came about.
I was just teaching more and more often. I was teaching every night, and I just decided to kind of give it a name. I was renting different spaces on different nights of the week, and I was teaching full time. And so I just created the name, and I wanted a name that wasn't just salsa related, that there was some ability to add other types of dance in the future if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
And it just started growing, and I didn't actually have a permanent location, and I don't even know what year I had the permanent location. Um, I don't know. Maybe it was like around 2006,
Probably around the same time.
2008. I don't know. The Congress started in 2003.
Okay.
Mm,
I couldn't find video of the Congress from 2003. I tried. I think the earliest video I might have found online was like 2009 of like shows, except
because
for
originally,
social dancing.
because I don't know if there was YouTube in 2003. I don't know. I don't remember. Wow, what is this?
This is also you dancing with Jason Molina to the new Swing Six-Step.
Wow, where is I've never seen this video. I love dancing with Jason. He's so much fun. I don't Where is this?
It's on YouTube. I'll send
I
you the
have
link.
never seen that one. Oh my God, that's
Girl,
crazy.
I went on a deep dive.
I
I,
knew. That's what
I
I
had
was
to
worried
Google
about.
you to find older stuff to like see what I needed to look for. Cause, I got to
Sharonne,
find
I
the good
know.
stuff and surprise you.
I was worried. This is what I was worried about. Like, oh no, what is she gonna dig up?
Well,
Um,
this is great. And you love
totally.
Dancing with Jason. You
I love
guys have
dancing with
known each other
Jason.
for how long now?
Oh, probably over 20, let me see, 22 years. I mean, I remember seeing him perform at the first Puerto Rico Congress I went to in 1999. He performed to El Hueso. And for some reason, that routine really stood out to me. Yeah. Yeah. So I've known him for like 22 years.
It's amazing the relationships that are built in this community.
It's amazing. It's amazing when I think how many years I've known some of these dancers, and you become family. And
Absolutely.
mhm,
There is
yeah.
definitely a sense of family in this community,
Oh,
especially
amazing.
amongst teams and like studios.
Yeah.
Like
No,
there's
I actually just got
definitely,
goosebumps.
huh.
Yeah.
So, so you founded Steps. You have a pro team, correct? There's a semi-pro team. There's the amateur team, if I'm not mistaken. That's a big
At Steps,
company.
we have, I mean, before COVID, we had a ladies team, a men's team, I think two amateur teams, and a pro team. And plus we have one or two performance classes every 3 or 4 months. So
Okay.
we usually had around 5 teams,
Mhm.
4 to 6 teams at a time, plus 1 to 2 performance classes going on at any given moment.
You run the teams yourself?
No, so my business partner in Steps is Angelo de Torres, became
Yeah.
one of the business partners a few years ago. So he actually manages the teams.
Okay.
He directs the pro team and the amateur teams. I help coach the amateur teams. There's four of us actually who coach the amateur teams, and then there's a director for the men's team, a director for the ladies team. Yeah.
Do you miss performing?
Mm-mm.
No, not at all.
I don't think it's not my first love. Performing, teaching is my first love, and social dancing. So I would much rather, to me, it's much more fun to be at a party and social dance and everybody is like dancing together, or, even if people are watching and filming, I don't care. It's fun. I don't mind kind of being the center of attention if it's in that environment, but
Okay.
I don't miss the stress of like, what if I forget the choreography, or what if I forget my dance shoes or my fishnets before I go out to perform. I don't miss that anxiety, but it was also never my first love. It's not my first love to perform. It's my first love to teach.
Gotcha. Well, let's talk about teaching for a second. As a female instructor, I feel like sometimes we get not criticized, but there tends to be a little bit of a hesitation of female instructors teaching leading. I have found over the years, right? You get people that go to classes and they're more comfortable with the idea of a man teaching the class to lead versus a female. What are your thoughts on this? Because I, like you, teach both the lead and follow.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, initially when I first started steps, I was teaching by myself. I taught every class by myself, and I taught beginner, intermediate, advanced by myself. And then I would sometimes hire a male teacher to co-teach with me for the advanced classes.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I couldn't lead, just because it was easier to demonstrate what everything would look like. Um, I think there's pros and cons to both, and I think it's good to learn from both male and female instructors. So for me, I've had the privilege of dancing with some of the best male dancers in the world. Oh my God, Sharonne, I really don't want you to have all these videos of me. Oh my gosh.
But it's you teaching. We're talking about you
Oh,
teaching. I gotta show something.
oh my gosh. Where is this? Montreal, I think. I don't even know where. Calgary?
This, I'm not sure actually. It just said Jennifer Aucoin
Puerto
Lady
Rico?
Styling, and I had to dig into the info to see what year it was so I could put it properly in my timeline.
What year is this?
This
A
is,
long time ago.
I think, I want to say 2009.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna try not to look at the video while I'm talking because then I lose what I'm talking about.
I'll
I
turn it
think as a
away.
fe
I'll go back
I
to
think
me.
I think as a female instructor, and for me, and I the same for you, we've had the privilege of dancing with the best male leaders in the world, and
Yes.
we are friends with a lot of them. We have trained with a lot of them, and that gives us an edge, because when I dance, when I teach men how to lead, I teach them how I want it to feel for me, because I know what it feels like with the best leader.
Yes.
So I can correct them and say, no, and I can think back to how it felt in my body to be led by, Tito Orthos or Nelson Flores or Oliver Pineda or Darlene Garcia. You know what it feels like to be led by these very strong, very confident, very musical leaders. And
Mhm.
so you try to transmit that to your student, and by tweaking it and by giving them feedback, you can get it to feel like how it feels with these really advanced professional male dancers. So I think that's one of the benefits of a female
Absolutely.
of a female teaching leading, is that I know how I want it to feel. And also it just, not in terms of etiquette, but in terms of like, um, we know what feels comfortable for us. So I can say to the guy, that doesn't feel comfortable for me. It
Yeah.
feels awkward when you put my arm in that position, or it feels weird, or it hurts me. And then he's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Because how would he know? He's not physically moving, he's not my arm. So there are advantages.
When you go social dancing, do you ever get the situation where, like, let's say you go out to a club and someone doesn't know you're the teacher and they ask you to dance? Do you ever get the guys trying to teach you on the dance floor?
Um, it's hard because in Toronto, I feel like it's tight knit community. Most people know who I am because of the Congress and because of steps. So it doesn't happen so often in Toronto that they try to teach me. I remember going one time to the Copacabana in New York,
Mm-hmm.
and you think, okay, you're at the Copa, everyone's a great dancer. So some guy asked me to dance. I said yes, and he knew nothing. Like didn't know a basic, didn't know timing, didn't know anything. And he tried to teach me.
Oh,
And he would like turn his hand this way, but then want me to turn that way. And I would just stop. He's like, that signal means to turn.
oh my God.
And, I was taught like dance etiquette. You don't walk off the floor.
Of course.
If it doesn't matter if they're not a good dancer, it doesn't matter if they don't know, you don't walk off the floor. So I did not walk off the floor. I was like, okay, I'm just going to, but he just he was really patronizing, and he kept saying, can you turn faster?
Oh my Lord.
And I'm like, well, the music isn't faster, so no, I can't turn faster because the music is telling me to go to this speed. So I finished the song. Yeah.
And that was it.
That was it. Yeah. Never dance with him again. It doesn't happen too often. I think, I don't know, maybe, oh boy.
Don't look at it. This is for the viewer. This is not for you. You talk to me.
Where is this? I don't even know. I think this is Salsa in St. Clair, actually.
I believe it is, and you guys had a performance for the live band. So you guys, I have a couple of clips of this. I won't show all of them, but it's just you and Giovanni getting down.
This is a huge street festival that happens in Toronto every summer. A really great festival, and there's always a big stage and live bands throughout the day. And so I think this was the first year they ever did it. And we basically had to social dance or teach every hour for 12 hours straight for 2 days in like 100-degree heat.
Oh my God.
It was crazy.
That seems a bit excessive.
It was crazy. It was really crazy. It was fun. I mean, it was fun, but it was crazy.
To be fair, I think this is actually the only video I found of you performing in like costume. So
yeah, because
that'll be it.
Remember, there wasn't really congresses when we were performing. It was more festivals and private events, corporate events, things like that.
Gotcha. Yeah. So, all right, let's talk Canada.
You need to send me these videos because I have never seen these videos.
I promise I will send you my link. It's a private playlist I set up, so it's not made to the public, but I will share it with you.
Wow.
So you can see all the videos I found of you.
Wow.
All right, let's talk Canada Salsa Congress, because that event has been around for so long. One of the biggest congresses in Canada, if I'm not mistaken, and host of the Canada Salsa Championships. So talk to me about how you started the event and how the competition came into play. We're going to unpack all of it.
So it's been 18 years. So at the very first Congress I ever went to, I remember not sleeping for like 4 days. I was so wired. I was like so excited. I've often told people that at that Washington Congress, it was the first time I basically started teaching salsa because I loved it. I loved teaching. I loved salsa, and I wanted to be doing something that I loved. I never saw it at that time as a full-time career. I saw it as, okay, I was like in my early 20s. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is fun. Okay, I'm going to do it. There was no plan. There was no goals. There was no 5-year plan. And when I went to the Washington Congress, I saw, Eddie and Maria Torres. I saw David Melendez, Nelson Flores. I saw all these people where it was a career.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was possible. So that changed everything. And I met David Melendez at that event, and he became a friend and he became a mentor. And he was the one who founded the New York Salsa Congress.
Yes.
So for a few years, he kept asking me, let's do an event in Canada. And I kept saying no. And he's like, come on, Jen, let's do it together. Like, I'll help you. Let's do it in Canada. I'm like, nope, too much work. I just want to have fun. And I said no for probably 2 or 3 years.
What made you say yes?
I don't know. I think I was just ready. He just kept calling. He literally would call me every 3 months and ask me. Every time he saw me, he would ask me. Every time we were at an event together, he would ask me. And one day I just was like, yeah. I don't know. There was no thought process. There was no, it wasn't like I thought about it for days. I just literally on the spot said yes. And we planned it it was probably like in September that he asked me, and we planned it for the following October.
Okay. Has it always been October then?
Yeah. Yeah. It's always been the exact same. It's always been Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. which is Columbus Day weekend in
For
the
us.
US. Yeah, I've never changed the dates.
Okay.
So we chose it so it was a long weekend for Canada and a long weekend for the US. And he he did that first one with me. And after the first one, I said, I don't know, it felt natural for me to run it. I loved organizing it. I remember that first Friday night after the shows, I was busy at registration and I came back into the ballroom and I walked in. I'm like, wow, I'm at a Congress. Like I'm in Toronto at a Congress. Like it just didn't even feel like my Congress. It wasn't my Congress. It was a Congress and I was
Wow.
at it. And it had that energy and it had that vibe and it had that, you know, it's like there's like an energy in the air that you can't describe that you have at a Congress.
Absolutely.
So,
There's something
that's,
very unique to that experience that I don't
mhm.
think people understand outside of the world what it means to go to an
No,
event like something like that. Like they
no,
just don't know.
it's like sometimes I describe it to people as being in the heart of Times Square, but
Hmm.
kind of with all your best friends.
That's a really good way to describe it.
It's like being in a space where everybody loves the same thing you love.
Yeah.
And there's just a different energy to that. It's
Did the
beautiful.
Congress, was it always Canada salsa, but it had bachata from the beginning, or was it just salsa
No,
focus first and
it was just the Canada Salsa Congress.
grew?
And then as you know, the scene changed, as bachata became more popular, then we changed it to the Canada Salsa and Bachata Congress.
You know, one of my favorite things about your event, and I've been there many times now, is the hustle room.
Mm,
Because not a lot of congresses, salsa congresses, will offer a hustle room.
yes, because
So
I
your
love
event,
hustle.
I don't think I ever actually make it into the salsa room. Because for anyone that's been to Canada, right, you've got the bachata room in one area, and you got the salsa room in this beautiful, huge ballroom. They're both big ballrooms, but in between, there's a hustle room. And I can never make it to the salsa room because I always get stopped in the hustle room and I'm just having the best time in there. So that's where I
Yeah,
stay most of the time.
I actually did it on purpose because um, when I started dancing hustle and when I did my hustle teacher certification with Billy, there were really no hustle dancers in Canada, and so I wanted people to see it because up to
Yes.
that point they had only seen hustle cabaret. They had seen performances of hustle. They hadn't seen like social dancing hustle.
Yeah.
And so I knew they had to see it. The salsa dancers had to see it. So the only way to do that was to literally put it in the foyer right outside the ballroom. So you basically had to walk through the hustle room to get to the salsa room.
You've converted a lot of salseros too into hustle dancers
Mm-hmm.
because of that strategy.
Yeah, because they see it and they go, "Oh, what is that? I want to do that. That's so much fun." And they see that because sometimes I think it's intimidating to watch hustle when it's done as a performance or as a
Mhm.
competition because there's a lot. It usually has a lot of tricks, a lot of lifts. But when you see it social danced, that's
It's
when
just
salseros get
fun.
it's so much fun. That's when salseros get hooked.
Yeah. I mean, I know of one particular person, I'm not going to name their name, but that room converted them. They were very much a I'm not going to dance hustle person to one night in that ballroom and they went, yeah, we're going to do hustle. And
Is this
and
is this a specific person that you work with?
I'm gonna plead the fifth. I'm gonna let our viewers
Okay, okay,
guess that. But your room has converted people for sure. It has
that's good.
definitely opened the doors and the
That's
eyes of
good.
people to how much fun hustle really is.
Oh, so much
So
fun.
I thank you for that because
Mm.
it literally like it gives me life. I'm normally so tired when I go to events because, like we're busy. We're there. We're
Yeah,
teaching. We have tech. We have performances,
competitions, pro-ams.
competitions, proams, everything. So by the time you get to nighttime, you're like a part of you is like I'm physically dead. But I literally, I think I close out the ballroom every night.
Yeah, I think you do.
I think I do.
I
I
think
think
I
I wish
usually see
last
you
night
pretty late. Yes.
because
Yeah.
it's so much fun. Canada Salsa competition, the
Yes.
championships. When did you start those?
Um, so before I ever ran the Canada Salsa Congress, I was running a really large dance salsa competition for a nightclub in Toronto.
Okay.
So when I started teaching at Berlin, they had a competition, and I took over running the competition for many years. And one year, I mean, and then they started really, it was like a kind of an 8-week competition. Oh, wow. What year is that? 2010. That's the other thing I was going to tell you, Sharonne. You can't find things on YouTube because for the first few years of the Congress, it was all on DVD.
Ah. But if I had
So
messaged you and asked you for the videos, you would know what I was going to be talking about, and I would lose the surprise factor of your
true.
face when you see these things.
Oh my gosh.
But don't worry,
Crazy.
these are just trailers of your event since we're talking
Okay.
about it. I want people to see what goes on.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. So I ran this really large salsa competition, and a couple of years they really went crazy with prizes. Like it was like $10,000 was first place. And so we had dancers, like we had Karina and Rafael, we had David and Paulina, we had, all these dancers from around the world that would come to Toronto literally for a day to compete to win these prizes. So I had already run that. And then I don't remember what year we started the competition at the Congress, but it started on the Thursday night, really small, like an hour of competition. Wow, that was me on stage actually.
Oh, I'm
Did
gonna
you
have
know
to go
that?
back and look at that again.
In the purple and black. That was Nelson choreographed, or he came to Toronto to Steps, and he taught our team the Descarga Criolla routine. And
Nice.
our whole team did it, and I did a little cameo appearance in that routine. Um, so yeah, I had already run competitions for many, many years.
Okay.
And then I don't remember how it started. I honestly, I should know this, but I, I think I just started having like basically one division on Thursday night, or two divisions maybe, like an amateur and a pro. And then it just kept growing and growing. But originally it was like 1 hour of the event was a competition. And now there's probably,
Way more than 1 hour. Way more.
yeah, now there's probably like, I don't know, 22 hours of competitions.
I mean, when I first came to the event the first time, I'm pretty sure that the Thursday competitions were just in the evening
Yes,
because
yes,
with
for many
AIM,
years.
we pile in, into like two 15-passenger vans on Wednesday night, and we drive overnight to get to
Wow.
your event on Thursday so we can compete. And we
Yeah.
used to have like all day to practice and sleep and whatnot. And now your competition starts even earlier on Thursday because it's expanded
Yeah.
to so many divisions, and then all day Friday
Yeah.
as
So now
well.
it's Thursday afternoon, Thursday night, all day Friday, and Friday night.
That's right,
But
because
I
the
but I
finalists
pack it
show, the
I
finalists
pack
go
it
in Tuesday.
yeah, I pack it in because I want the competitors to be able to enjoy the weekend. I don't want them to have to compete on Sunday and be worried about it and have to go to bed early on Saturday. I want them to compete first, get it out of the way. Not get out of the way. I mean, they're going to enjoy it, but at least they kind of do their work, and
Yeah,
then they can party, and then they can learn, and then they can take workshops and social dance. And so
I
we
personally
pack it
thank
all
you
in.
for that. That's great.
I love it too because I also couldn't take 4 days of competition stress. It's a lot.
What what do you find to be more challenging? The Congress aspect or the competition aspect? Because you run both.
Competition. The
Competition, why?
competition. Mhm. Because the competition runs on a minute by minute schedule. It's literally timed by the minute.
True.
Whereas the Congress schedule is like by the hour. You have workshops for an hour, you have shows for 2 hours, you have parties for 6 hours. So the competition runs every minute. Something is, if you're running heats, there's a new heat every minute. There's a new um, showcase every 2.5, 3 minutes. So if anything goes wrong, it delays everything. So it's kind of like running a three-ring circus. So I find the competition, and there's so many more people involved, and you
Mm-hmm.
have coaches and amateurs and judges and DJs and scrutineer and technology, the system, Wi-Fi. It's just a lot. It's a lot of things that have to work perfectly for it to run.
One of the things I really like about your competition is, and I know a lot of, I don't want to say all, but a lot of comps that I've been a part of or competed at work this way, which I think is correct. Your judges panel is not just salsa dancers because you're not just having salsa competition. I
Right.
really love the fact that you mix up the judges. You have their experts in hustle. in salsa,
Yes.
in bachata, like all the styles.
Yeah.
What, how do you pick who's going to be your judges? Like, how do you go into selecting that panel?
Um, I need to make sure that I have enough judges for salsa, for bachata, for hustle, for cha-cha. And like you said, I think a hustle dancer, a hustle teacher should be judging hustle. It's not to say that, you know, if you're a really great teacher, you're a really great judge and you know what you're doing, you can judge a lot of different dances, even if you don't, they're not your forte or they're not your main genre.
Yeah.
But I do think it's better to have at least some of the panel that is specialists in that dance that are judging. I think it's more fair. And I also think as a competitor, you want your mentors, you want the people you look up to be judging you.
Okay.
So I try to have a well-rounded panel, and a lot of them have been with me for many, many years because I trust them, I respect them. I know that they are impartial. I know that they're fair. I know that they're objective.
You judge also at various other events besides your own. I've seen you
I don't
judge.
judge at my own.
No. You're running it, but I mean, like
Yeah.
I've seen you judge at Summit. You've
Yep.
judged in Montreal.
Yeah, I've judged the World Latin Dance Cup, the World Salsa
Mhm.
Championships. I was on the judging panel when it was the World Salsa Championships on ESPN, the World Salsa Summit. I've
So
judged all over.
I want to ask you a question about judging specifically. I've asked this Anya, and I asked Kelly, and I think I asked the Toy also. When you're watching competition, let's say the Just Dance division professionally, right? And you've got 10 couples out on the dance floor. Are you watching the man or are you watching the woman?
Ooh. When I'm watching a heated division, especially
Hmm.
pros, I allow my eye to see what it wants to see first, what attracts me first. So which
Okay.
couple on the floor grabs me? Because if I have 10 couples, 10 amazing couples in front of me dancing, one couple will somehow stand out. And so I watch that couple first, and then the same thing is which person catches me most, man or male or female. But I do find especially for the heated divisions and the pros, I watch the connection.
Okay.
I love seeing that they're playing together. So I don't know if I separate. I don't watch just the man or just the woman. I'm watching the interaction between them, the chemistry between them.
Why I ask is because the statement that was made was, I think, especially it's more of a ballroom thing, or at least that's where that statement came from, was that a stronger male partner with a
Mm.
weaker female partner will do better in competition than a stronger female with a weaker man. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I agree that often that's the case. I do agree because the leader is the one determining what's happening. The leader, the male, is determining what moves are happening. So if he can do intricate, syncopated musical moves, even with a partner that's not as good, that's going to show well. But if obviously as a woman, if you're dancing with somebody in a heated division and you feel something happening in the music and your partner doesn't respond to that and they don't lead into the musicality of that song, it's hard. You can't break away from him necessarily. I mean, I've seen pro dancers do it in a heat where the woman just breaks away from the guy and she's like, no, we're gonna do this. Um, but oh, Henry Knowles.
Yeah.
Oh, is this my event again? I don't know. This is
No, this is
Montreal.
at Montreal.
This is Montreal. Oh, Henry and I always try to have at least one dance every Congress.
Henry's a
Yeah.
huge part of your events.
Yeah, Henry's been part of my event since I think the beginning. Maybe not the first year, but maybe the second year. Yeah. And then when he moved from New York to Thailand, he would still come back and be at my event, which was really wonderful.
He's a
Yeah.
great guy.
Yeah, great guy. Um, yeah, so I think because the man is determining what is happening on the dance floor at that time, that it becomes a little easier for
You
that
said
sentiment
something
to be true.
really interesting that I wanted to follow up on just now about if the woman hears something in the music, but the guy doesn't hear it, she's stuck, right? When you're
Yeah,
judging, when you're judging competition and it's a pro-am, female instructor, male student. What do you think when you see those things happen? Because as the teacher, we can't backlead in competition
No,
because the judges will
no,
see it.
no. But in that case, I would give kind of extra points to the male amateur that is very musical and that can anticipate what's happening in the music and can lead his teacher through it, because that's really hard to do, especially
Makes
as an
sense.
amateur. Yeah. So I think to me, it's like a bonus. It's bonus points in musicality. It's bonus points in connection. If, if he can actually feel the music.
Hmm.
Hi, Roberto. I can't really see everyone who's watching, but sometimes their names pop up.
I know there's a lot. I'm gonna scroll back real quick and see how many people I can see. But we've had Ashley joined in,
Ashley.
Jadu, and who else? Isa,
Oh,
Elizabeth Bachata Angel, Ariana, Jessica from Algorithm, Nadej is watching,
hi, Nadesh.
Ilam is
Graziano.
watching, Darlin.
Graziano. Darlin.
Darlin
Hi, Darlin.
is or was, I don't know if he's still here. Gabriella, Julianne, Eric, of Steve,
I
Kelly,
just saw,
Nuno. I mean,
oh,
you've got a nice
oh,
turnout here.
nice.
People,
I just saw
people are all
Graziano
saying
pop
hi.
up from Italy. That's nice.
So you Congress organizer, competition organizer, studio owner. You have all these powerful positions that you are in. I'm curious, as a woman, have you ever felt resistance from people for trying to establish yourself in these powerful positions? Maybe not. Maybe
I
it was easy
actually,
for you. I don't know.
you know what? I hesitate to say this, but the truth is, no.
That's great.
But maybe because I wasn't really aware of it.
Okay.
So I do remember when I first started teaching in Toronto, you know, I was one of the first female teachers in Toronto with like Stephanie Gernon and Elizabeth Sadowska. Like there weren't a lot of female salsa teachers at the time, and very few that were not Latin.
Okay.
And I don't remember anybody ever saying you can't do this. I remember feeling myself, like self-imposed, that I had to prove myself. That
Mm-hmm.
I had to prove that I was able to teach, you know, salsa and bachata in the Latin world as a woman, as a Canadian, as a French Canadian, not as a Latina. So, but that was completely self-inflicted.
Okay.
I don't really, and when I ran the Congress, like I had always run things. I had always organized events. So I used to run day camps. I used to organize camps. I used to organize competitions. So that was normal to me. It didn't occur to me that it wasn't, I didn't know at the time that there was no kind of female organizers that were running congresses.
Gotcha.
So I just did it. It was never, yeah.
That's
And I don't
great.
know, maybe there was people who didn't think, I don't know, maybe people who doubted it, or maybe people didn't trust it, but I think you just have to prove yourself. You just have to keep going and show that you know what you're doing.
I mean, it probably was helpful that you had people that believed in you. I mean, David, you said encouraged you for years to do the events
Yeah,
before you actually did it. So,
yeah,
it's important to
it's
have
true. Very true.
positive people in your life that will
Yeah, I
be
don't,
supportive.
no one ever said to me, ever, why are you running a salsa congress? Or you shouldn't be, or never, ever, ever. I mean, I've had, obviously, I'm sure you've had the same. I've had people say to me, you teach salsa? Like you're
Hmm.
Canadian, you get that all the time. I've gotten that all the time. And I'm like, yeah, people dance salsa all over the world. Hi, Ramiro. Wow. People,
Graziano's watching.
so that happens all the time. But, and still to this day, that happens all the time.
Hmm.
And even now, now I'm in Mexico temporarily, it happens here too. Really? You're the teacher?
Yeah, I
I'm
am.
like, yeah,
Thanks.
yeah, I'm the teacher. But I also feel like, once you just start teaching, they accept you because they think, oh, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. So you just
Your
have
work
to,
speaks for itself.
yeah, yeah. I don't really worry about it.
So unfortunately, we did not have Canada this past year because COVID really messed everything up. But you did host a virtual competition, which we were all very grateful for. I know a lot of our dancers competed. Um, I know it's hard to look forward to September 2021 or October 2021, but what right now is the tentative plan for Ken? Do we
I
have
don't know.
one? We don't know yet.
Whew. Um, so the plan is there will definitely be something October 2021. I just don't know if it will be virtual or
Okay.
hybrid.
Okay.
If I do an in-person event, it will not be a large congress because right now Toronto is very, very locked down. We're still in gray. My
Okay.
studio is still closed. Nothing is open. So I can't, there's no way we can go from lockdown to, 1,000 people in a ballroom
Of
in the
course.
next 5 or 6 months. So I am trying to figure out if there's a way. And right now, when people, well, first of all, it's almost impossible. It's really difficult to fly into Canada.
Oh, it's difficult to fly anywhere right now.
Well, actually, I mean, some places, the US can fly a lot of places. US can fly to Mexico and vice versa and things. It's just Canada is really tough. So, and we have to quarantine for 14 days when we fly into Canada. So it makes it really hard to have a 5-day event. People have to quarantine.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, yes, if I can. The hotel has been really wonderful, and they have said, let's decide at the end of June.
Okay. So they're working with you.
So, so they're working with me to see. I've already signed for 2022 and 2023 with
Wonderful.
the hotel.
The
So I
hotel is
really think
gorgeous.
the hotel
Oh,
is so
so
beautiful.
pretty.
It's beautiful. Yeah.
Mhm.
So for this year, there will definitely be another virtual competition.
Okay,
Even
great.
if we have an in person, there will also be a virtual competition in October, the weekend of my event, the weekend of the Congress. I think it's the 6th or 7th to the 10th, and some virtual workshops.
Okay.
And then if there can be an in person event, even if it's kind of Canadian,
Hmm.
we can also have some competitors possibly from Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver. I will do that if I can. And I really think 2022 will happen.
Okay. You
And I
are
think they're,
hosting a contest, are you not, with the song that you
yes,
made originally? Can you tell everybody about that, please?
yes. Oh my God, that was one of the best days of my life. So I've been good friends with a very well known, a very famous Latin percussionist. His name is Mark Quinones. I've known him for many, many, many years. Great guy. And every year when we do the Congress trailer, we have an issue with copyright that it gets taken down off of Facebook or YouTube because we don't have the rights to the music. And so the videographer said to me, you should really get a song made. So I reached out to Mark, and he's played with everybody. He's been performing with Tito Puente since he was like 9 years old.
Wow.
So I reached out to him and I said, this is my idea. Would you be willing to produce a song for me? And he said, yes, absolutely. So him and Tony Sucar got together, and he wrote the lyrics, he wrote the music. We used Tony's recording studio, and we did it in 2020, January 2020, just before Summit. I went to Florida to Miami early so that I could spend a whole day in the recording studio with them. And it was so much fun. Oh my God, I loved it. And I got to see them create the song. And it's
Wow.
called A Bailar Canada. And it's a really good, fun salsa song with a lot of swing, a lot of sabor. So we were using it for the trailer. And then I had this idea, well, people are at home, people need a project to work on. So now there's a
Mhm.
contest to see who can create the best choreography to that song. And it's completely open. It can be couples, it can be a solo, it can be a team, it can be all ladies, it can be couples, partner work, shines, tricks, I don't care. Just the best routine to that song. And so everybody needs to submit by the end of June of this year.
Okay.
And Mark and Tony, myself, and then a few of the kind of salsa judges will be getting together to watch them virtually, and we're going to choose the top 3, and the winners will all get passes to the next in-person Congress, and the winner will open the show on Saturday night.
That's a huge honor, because that Saturday night show is no joke.
That Saturday night show is awesome.
It is so great. So great.
Yeah.
Where can everybody find out this info? Where can they go to sign up?
So they can go to our website, canadasalsacongress.com, and it says choreo. There's in the navigation bar, it says choreo. So they can go see all the choreography contest information there. They can go to our Instagram, Canada Salsa and Bachata Congress. They can go, oh, thanks, Elizabeth. They can go to our Facebook page, Canada Salsa Congress, and they can get all the information. They can reach out to us. They can email us. So that's happening now. And hopefully we get some really great entries. I'm hoping that Art in Motion is going to be choreographing something, perhaps.
Oh, that's a conversation I got to have with Darlene. We'll find out. We'll let you know.
Well, it could be a ladies team.
It could be. It could be. I'll find out and I'll hit you up. Speaking of, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is the trailer for the next event.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I'm not playing the amazing song because I want to be able to hear you. But this is the 2021 trailer that you produced for the event.
Yeah. Darling, there you are.
But look at this event. You have kids, you have adults, you have all the genres of dance. It really is an incredible event. When you pick your staff, when you pick who your talent is going to be, how do you decide who you're going to have at your event?
I kind of do it from my gut. I do it for who I really love watching. They have to have a great show. I love watching shows every night. Every Congress I go to, I am at every single show. I never miss the shows. So I try to have people that are great teachers, great performers, that are professional in how they, will deal with the event, how they'll deal with me, how they'll deal with all the admin work that has to happen for the event. I want to make sure that they're friendly, that they're going to social dance, they're going to have a good time, that they're going to participate in the event. Some of my artists also need to be judges. So I have to have a certain number of judges. And I try to balance like teams and couples and salsa, bachata, hustle, judges, competitors, people that, that I know will add to the ambiance of the event. If you're just an amazing performer, but you're not going to be a part of the event, you're not going to actually be there and enjoy it, then it's not worth it to me.
Makes sense. So all of you instructors out there, performers that are trying to get hired by Jen, you now know what she's looking for.
Yes.
I hope you wrote that down and make your list. I will be and do what she says, and you might get hired for Canada.
Yeah. And you have to respond to emails.
Oh, so important. So communication, man.
I also wanted to just say to just stay tuned, because there might be some more announcements coming in the next few months of some other projects that are happening.
Well, when I post this video, I'm going to tag also. I'll update the description and I will tag Canada Salsa Congress steps, all the stuff so that people see the links and they can go right to it. So before we wrap up, Jen, the last question I have for you, what advice can you give to women who want to be a part of the scene professionally?
Wow. I don't think my advice is gender specific.
Okay.
I think my advice is to decide, not necessarily decide, but have an idea of what you really want to focus on. Do you want to be a competitor? Do you want to be a performer? Do you want to be an organizer? Do you want to be a teacher? Figure out what your passion truly is, because if you don't love to compete, then maybe pursuing a competitive career is not the the role for you. Maybe you're going to be a coach to competitors rather than the competitor yourself. So I think you have to really dig deep and know what you want to do and what lights you up and what makes you feel alive. I think you need to train with the best that there is and train with multiple people. You need to train with a lot of different people, and you need to invest. You can't, I found over the years that there was a lot of people that, you know, they'd been performing for 6 months and then they expected to be able to be hired by all these congresses for free. And it doesn't work that way. You know, in any industry, especially in the arts, you do have to pay your dues. You need to pay for training. You need to, and when you see the cream of the crop, when you see the best dancers in the world, they are still taking privates with the other cream of the crop. The master instructors are also always learning.
Yep.
And they're sharing. That's one of the most beautiful things, especially even as a judge. I see that a lot in the background. I remember like years ago when we would judge and, you know, the scrutinizing was on paper and it would take a while for the results to be tabulated. We'd be in the back room and like the judges would be like, oh, check out this move. Oh, what do you think about this turn pattern? Or can you help me with this trick? Because I don't know, there's something that's not working. So I love that about the salsa scene, that the professionals will help each other. You know, maybe you and Darlin are really great at a specific trick, and then you show it to another couple, another pro couple, and then they show you a great shine combo that they love, and everybody shares. And so I think when you're starting out and you want to become a professional, I think you have to invest in training. You have to train with a lot of different people, a lot of the best. I think you have to take a gamble.
Bet on yourself.
Yeah, bet on yourself. And if you really believe that you can do it, then you have to just go for it. You have to just jump in 2 feet. You can't just kind of dip your toe in.
Sounds like great advice. I hope you were all paying attention, guys, that were listening in. Find what makes you happy and dive in head first. Yeah? Jen, thank you so much for giving me your time, for being with us today. Hopefully you'll get to go back later and see all the people that commented, and you'll get to
for
hello. Again, it was a pleasure talking to you. Pleasure seeing you as always. I miss you, and I cannot wait to give you a hug when we get to see each other in person.
Sharonne, I just want to say I love you. I've always respected you. Thank you so much for having me on this. You've always supported me every time you come to my event. You always give me the biggest hugs. You always, I don't know, you just always make me feel better every time I see you. You make everyone around you feel better. And so thank you for doing this. And we've always talked, people don't know this, but there's like kind of a group of girls, and we always talk about having like a girls trip or doing something where we're not at a congress, we're not working, but we can actually hang out together and like have wine and cheese and watch a movie. So I think this year has taught me more than ever, we need to do those things.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, we need to make it happen. When this is all over, we need to have a big girls trip.
Absolutely. Count me in. I promise I'll leave the video camera at home.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Join me next
Thanks,
week.
Sharonne.
My guest will be Christina Piedra.
Wow. Bye. Thank you.